it's Sierra, and in today's video, I will be turning this into this. Okay, so back up a second, nobody's turning into this or anything like that. I will only be transforming this sweater into a replica of Taylor Swift's Cardigan in her latest music video. And here's how. I couldn't find an oversized knit cardigan, so I'm working with this knit sweater instead. To turn it into a cardigan, I start by marking out the center and draw a line. Then I stitch two very tight straight stitches on either side of the line that I made. This is to make sure that when I cut along the middle, the knit won't undo itself. Never skip this part, or anything you'll do will only cause a part of the knit to undo itself until it stops. After stitching, I then cut along the line that I initially made. After cutting, I tried to clean up the raw edge with a crochet of some sort, but I'm not sure what this is called. Anyway, this is how I did it. So first I locked my thread, pulled it through a gap in the knit, and then pulled the loop to lock it in place. I did 2 chains, then hooked some thread through another gap, and pulled some thread through the 2 loops that I have on my hook. I'm super bad at explaining things, so I'll just slow down and zoom in the footage so you can see what I'm doing. After cleaning both edges, I started experimenting with the stripe details. I tried doing crochet but ended up not being able to stretch the wrist hole anymore. So I tried to think of another style, and instead I did a cross stitch pattern using a gigantic needle. I made sure I stretched the wrist hole to its full potential before stitching to make sure that my hand could fit. To make cross-stitching easier, do everything going one direction first, then once you've covered everything, go back to form the excess. This way you can mindlessly just keep going until you've come full circle. After I did the cuffs, I did the rest of the details on the cardigan. I'm easily bored by repetitive actions, so doing all the slants first before forming the cross helped so I could let my mind flutter off to other things. Once I finished all the stripe details, I went ahead and grabbed the stars for the elbows. This was my first attempt and it just looks sad. The second one is half mine, half mom's. It's a star, a thin breed of starfish that is, so my mom decided to find a different tutorial and this is how it looked. I could not crochet a star to save my life, so I had my mom make them for me. Link to the tutorial is in the description box below. To attach the stars, I wore the cardigan first so I could place it on the elbow area and use some safety pins to pin them in place. I didn't know I forced myself to do this alone when I lived with 2 other people, but I just did, so here I am struggling. It has actually come to a point that my mom has dubbed this project as the Taylor What Have You Done project. You could also use star patches, but I didn't want to wait a month for them to arrive, but links for star patch suggestions are also down below. Anyway, once I've positioned them, I took the gigantic needle and the same thread used with the stars and just went over and under the star and knit to secure it. And I basically just did the same with the 5 other stars. And here is the final look. I love how it turned out. I am so happy that I was able to turn the sweater into a cardigan, especially that I had to open it up here at the front and I did not end up undoing the knit. So that's an achievement. So I had to skip putting buttons because the cardigan is already kind of tight and it wouldn't look good to put buttons on it, so I just skipped that whole thing entirely. The cross-stitching could get a bit taxing, and at some point I was just too tired from all the hours I was working on this that I just gave up doing 2 rows on the bottom and instead I just did 1. So that was a challenge for me. But overall, I had a lot of fun making this project, and if you guys try it out and follow my methods, tag me at art.cadence on Instagram or send me a photo on Facebook, Art Cadence. So if there are videos or DIYs that you guys want to see me do, just put a comment down below. And that is it for today's video. I hope you guys like this. See you again next time. Bye!